Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is so fun. I'm so happy to see you. I'm just going to take a moment and wiggle in. Oh, this is great. Wow. Hi. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Beautiful people. Ah. Mm. Deep breaths. All right. I'm going to jump right in. So here's what's happening today. Hoping to keep this to about 30 minutes. And what I intend to do is to tell you what I'm up to next, show you around a bit, and then give you a little reminder for the summer, because we're heading into it. And I want to make this both informative as to giving you a sense of what I've got cooking, but also give you something to take with you to play with. So in order to, I know some of you might have to leave early, so I'm going to just lay it all out there, and then I'll back up and give you the backstory. But the kind of short story is I have figured out a way to to go back through the work I've done over the past 20 years that a lot of you were involved in my various programs, and all the different emails I've sent and all the stuff that I've been playing with these tools of humanhood. So there'll be a weekly email that I'll send out, which everybody will get. You don't have to be a paid subscriber for that. But the goodness of it all is really in what I'm calling these humanhood happenings. So I don't know, it's a weekly-ish, so it'll be pretty consistent, especially in the summer, but I'm not promising every week, but it'll be most weeks, Thursdays at noon. I'll be here on Zoom, and I'm going to keep it tight, about a 30-minute gathering where I'll share a reminder. And I like the idea of giving you the reminders that are worth remembering. And there are things you already know, especially if you've been in my world, but you know them anyway. You know them in your knowing. But what I'm good at is reminding. And so I'll pull out my best ideas, my greatest hits, and share them. And then we may do a little bit of writing just as a practice, get that muscle working. You know, it'll be what it is. It'll be just a way to come together and do a little learning and fortify ourselves. I like to think of it as a place where you can pause, plug in, and practice, and then head on back to life and create those meaningful moments with your most treasured ones. So that's really kind of the big piece, I think. And then there'll also be a community conversation aspect. There are threads. And this is where you all can communicate with each other, which is so good. I've done it before. Many of you are a part of it. And it's so rich. And I have to say, I hadn't found a platform where I was wanting to do that. Facebook wasn't working anymore for me. So I sort of waited and watched. And now I think I've found it. And and then so I'll post a question or, you know, get you all thinking, and then you can share and talk amongst yourselves. And then there's also a way I can share little tidbits, little notes, little love notes, and little reminders throughout the week. So what I see this all adding up to is a term my friend Stephanie and I use a lot, which is collective effervescence. I think Brene Brown used the term recently, and we both kind of grabbed it, because it's like what happens when we come together to, you know, really be in community and with the intention of uplifting. And so, because I want to keep it tight, all of this is going to be offered to you for just $10 a month. And you can also pay yearly for $120. So that is the beautiful offer, and it's all happening over on Substack. And I'm going to give you a little tour of that, just so you have a good sense of what that is and what it would require of you, which is not a lot at all. So that's the offer. It's called On Humanhood. And I just changed that this morning. I was calling it Parenting People. And it was meant to be for the people who are parenting, who understand that they're parenting people. And I love that. But I love On Humanhood even more, because where my work has evolved to is just humans, and helping humans know themselves and trust themselves from a deep place, and know and love and trust their growing people, and have a clear sense of what happens as we unfold through our development lifelong. So it's not just for parents, but what I share will be very useful for the family relationships that you have, whether they're tiny, brand new people, or, oh my goodness, so many of you have these people that I knew when they were little that are now off and running into young adulthood. And it's honestly mind-blowing for me, and I'm just the witness. I can't imagine what it is like for all of you to have these people so much further down the road. So I want to help support through it all. That's my thing. That's my passion. That's what I love. I want to provide a space where you feel like you can exhale, regroup, gain perspective, tap into your own wisdom, and kind of revitalize, refortify, reinvigorate, so you can head back out. That's what I know I offer. And the way I do that is because I've been living these tools, so I know them in my deepest place. I've been sharing them so long that I know they work with others. And I see it in my work every day with my coaching clients. Like, they come, we do a little work, I remind them of a few things, off they go, and out they go, and they're back in it, and then they come in. My commitment is to be resourced. I have figured that out. I've played with these tools long enough, and I am consistent, and I'm practiced, and it doesn't mean I'm steady every moment, but it does mean that I'm fortified when I show up with people to offer basically a vibe of fueled and kind of a broader perspective. I have the luxury of having enough space to do that for myself. So if there's any way I can offer that to you all, that's my intention. So I want to take a little, so that's the offer. It's on Substack. It's a weekly email that you'll get anyway. It's a weekly call that you'll get. And here's the good news. You can think of it as a mini workshop. You can think of it as a micro retreat. You can think of it as a podcast. So you can be live, because I think coming in and being a part of the energy is fun. But if you can't make it at that time, you could just listen to it later. It's just going to be a little steady drip of goodness. And it's $10 a month. So, I mean, I'm trying to make it as accessible to everyone as possible. And I will even say, if you can't afford that, get in touch. So it's a little bit for a lot, because I am going to show up for this. This is very exciting to me that I've figured out a way to do this, and I'm ready. So I think most of you know me, but I am going to back up and share a little bit about why I'm doing this and how I got here. So mainly I was a curious kid, specifically curious about tiny humans and their parents. I spent my childhood being the mother's helper and babysitter of the neighborhood, and I loved it. And as I got into college, started studying psychology and holistic health. And in the mid-90s, I was in Austin and I got a master's in health promotion, and I spent my 2 years at the University of Texas really diving deep into attachment theory. And that's where I learned about the field of pre and perinatal psychology. And in 2000, I went off to Santa Barbara and I got my PhD and another master's along the way. And I was just surrounding myself with this information and these mentors that were really talking about and giving amazing guidance around how to support the tiny ones as they come into the world. And something that I remember really clearly was when I moved back to Austin in 2004. I had been studying the work of a person named Joseph Chilton Pierce, and he was going to be speaking at the Austin Waldorf School. So I got my ticket and I went, and I remember I had just gotten back to Austin, fresh out of my graduate coursework, hadn't even finished my PhD yet. And he was speaking, and I just remember this sense that he was old at the time, he's since passed, that it felt like to me that he was taking all of this information that he had synthesized, and it was sort of surrounded by this clear and deep wisdom from within him. And it felt like he was taking what was in his brain and he was shooting it out his heart. And it thrilled me. It was like, that's what I want to do. That's how I want to support people. That's the way I want to take all this great science and psychology and spirituality that I've been delighting in and playing with and give it away and support families to know and trust themselves. So that's what I started doing. I had circles in my house with babies and moms, and I had parents coming prenatally to learn from me. And then as their babies emerged, we were doing courses around, like I did a bunch of book groups, Parenting from the Inside Out. Some of you were with me in my first endeavor of that. As your kids started getting older, I started moving on. We had a toddlerhood course, and then there was an adding a second child course. And then there was the 3-year-old course, which is the one that seemed to draw the most people because those 3.5-year-olds can be spicy at times and challenging. And that was what was happening in the early 2000s. And I was doing some really beautiful work with my bestie, Bernadette, and many of you were a part of that. And then I wanted to go bigger and I wanted to affect more people. So it was the perfect timing. I started moving things online and I offered something called Evolve, which several, if not many of you were a part of. And for 7 years, I was supporting this incredible community of parents and people who wanted to evolve. You recognize that your own development, your personhood, had a really big impact on the relationships and the development of your growers. And so that was so much fun. And then I was kind of ready for a pause. So for the last 7+ years, I'm into 7s, really what I've been focused more on is figuring out these tools mainly for myself and sharing them with others. But it did lean into more of a personhood, humanhood focus. And so this past fall, I was sitting here in Maine and really thinking about life. And I realized, wow, I've got now 10 years of academic learning, 2 masters and a PhD, and 20 years of work that I've created. I've created a lot of stuff. And I really just got this strong sense that I want to share it. I want to give it. I want people to have access to it. And I want to revisit it myself and see like what still holds true. Is there anything that I would say differently? What would I add on? What do I want to offer the people that have moved into new phases with their people? And I didn't know where this would happen. I thought, oh, well, I could put it all on a website, or I just didn't know. And so then I just kept doing what I do, doing my appreciations, doing my writing each day to clarify what I want. And this winter, a dear client said, and I had been hearing rumblings of Substack, but a client said, have you ever thought about getting on Substack? And I said, well, I've sort of, but I haven't really given it much energy. And once she said that, I kind of started realizing like, oh, that's the place. That's the thing that could let me do all the pieces. It can let me house all the information that I want to revisit and share. It can allow me to facilitate a community without being on Facebook. It can allow me to post the calls. It's going to be, the calls will happen here, but the video will be posted over on Substack. And so I'm feeling really good about it. And so that's what's going on. Let me take a drink. This is so fun. So now I just want to give you a sense. You know, it's really I can honestly say that I've been living this stuff and it works. You know, when I would joke way back in the early teens and just say, you know, this shit works. Like these tools and these reminders, and the beauty of it is that you do know it already. And I'm just a really good person to just keep reminding you to remember, because when you're in it with your people and you're in it day to day, there's a lot of noise and there's a lot that you're holding and responsible for. And you could be very outside of your wisdom. And yet, as soon as you pause and as soon as you get a little space, and as soon as you just take a breath, turn back in, get present here and now, and really appreciate like, oh, here I am, here we are. Wow. You know, amidst it all, you know, that's what I offer, is just that little bit of, whoa, okay, let's pull the car off the road. Let's consider a few things. Let's tinker a little bit. Let's get a little dose of the elixir, a little sense of, oh, okay, I got this. Because you've got this. That's what I've been doing for myself and learning. And that's what I want to do for all of you. So let me show you the site, because that's fun. And then, I mean, that's kind of it. It's really simple. And that's one of the things I love the most. I mean, I loved Evolve, but it was a lot of moving parts and a big investment of money. And I realized that was wonderful because it was what I needed at the time. But right now, I want simple, essential, connected, spacious, all the yummy things that I love. And I really think this is the platform for it. And I am like, oh, so hoping you want to be in on it. So let me show you what we've got here. I'm going to share my screen. All right, so we've got this one. All right, so just playing with this as if it's brand new. So you could go to Substack and just type it in. And then you go here and go, oh, that's interesting, a new platform. Maybe many of you are already on it. I love, I first learned about it from Heather Cox Richardson and her letters to from an American. Okay, so you get here, and I'm going to send you a link, but if you were just playing around, you would type in, oh, what's Carrie doing? Substack. Oh, yes, I'm in there. I would type in my name. You would type in my name. And it takes you to, where'd it go? Hang on. I was still in Google. Okay, so then I would search here, Carrie Conti. And what you come to is, here I am, my page. And so here's my page. And then you would click. So I'm a humanhood enthusiast with a PhD in prenatal and perinatal psychology, sharing expansive ideas and practical tools for navigating parenthood and human development. So that's there. And then you would just click on here, on Humanhood. This is the offering. And you can see I've got a bunch of posts, some old articles that I've shared. Some of my favorite things are here. You can access my podcast here. You can access, I will be posting the recordings from the calls. So you'll get those here. And I might share some notes. So that's an opportunity to post little reminders, post links to my calls, things like that. If you want to be in on Substack, great. If you don't, that's okay. You can still be in on the calls and you'll still get the emails. But it is very simple. So if you subscribe, then you're in, you get the emails. But if you want to be in the paid part, which is here, you get the weekly-ish happenings like this. You get the community conversations. That does happen on Substack. And then you get, I'm going to do some live Q&As. You know, I need to know who's going to be with me. So as soon as I know, oh, I might do a call around teenhood, or I might do a call on your kids leaving for college, or there might be a bunch of people with newborns that want information. So I'm going to wait and see what else I add in. But for now, these are the things that you can count on. Here's one thing that is important to know. If you don't have Apple Pay set up, you can just click on other subscription option and it allows you to pay with a credit card. So just because I was not clear on that when I was playing around today. So that's what it is and what it looks like. And I'm having a blast. And what I'm going to do is keep adding articles. You'll get an email that'll go there, but I'm going to keep adding some of my older work. And I'm probably going to move over my Q&As, which I have about 500 Q&A back and forths that I did with clients over the past probably 15 years, that I'm going to move over there slowly. And I'm really always open to questions. And if I start getting a bunch, I'll do Q&A live calls because those are fun for me. Let me give you your tip for the summer, and then I will invite questions if there are any. But what I wanted to do for the summer is well, first of all, let's just take a pause. Thank you, Margie. It's fun. I'm excited. All right. There's a question. Let me just take it really quickly. Is there a way to share this Zoom intro with someone who has missed their chance? Absolutely. I will be sending an email with the link to this call. I'm just going to post it on YouTube and share far and wide. And I will post it up on Substack as well. And I'll probably put it on Facebook. I mean, I really want to get this going because to me, I'm just ready. Like it's the sweetest spot of reminding everybody of these things that I've been playing with for so long now and gathering a community. Because you're just wise and I attract really phenomenal humans and I want you all to know each other and feel like you're in it together because wow, life is wild and it's noisy and intense out there. So if I can provide what I'm calling an oasis of kindness and calm, and I would welcome you all in to this, party. And I was joking the other day, like, basically, I'm asking you to pay for your cup and I'm going to fill it each week. Like pay for your cup each month and I'm going to fill it up with all sorts of goodness each week. All right. So tip of the week, reminder of the week. It's summer, whatever that means. It's different for everybody. Some people love it, can't wait. Some people dread it. and some people have all sorts of mixed feelings and experiences with it. So what I just want to remind you of is the one tool that I feel like gets me back to me the quickest, and it's kind of four quick points. And the first one is just pause. Just remember to take that moment, that minute, 2 minutes, whatever it is, and stop. So easy to do and so easy to not do, but we just did it. So pause. And number 2 is just check in. And the way I like to do that is just ask myself, what's the weather inside? And another way to get a sense is on the continuum from wobbly to steady, where am I? No judgment. This isn't a judging. This is a awareness. This is just bringing a little self-awareness. What's the weather inside? Compassion, compassion, no matter what. And then 3 is appreciate. Just look around and find 1, 2, 3 things that gives you that feeling that tunes you into, thank you. Wow, look at my life. Look at these people. Look at me. List 3 things in your mind. And then the 4th is set an intention, intend. How do I want to feel in this next moment, or this next segment of my day, or this next weekend, or this next week, or this next month, or this next season? What is it I'm going for? What is the feeling state that I want to plug into when I can, and when I can't, let it go. But is there a way of operating that I want to give it my best shot to plug into, to vibe, to tune into out and to broadcast? Could be joy, could be love, it could be presence, could be compassion. I choose ... So we pause, we check in, we appreciate, and we intend. And if you do that once this summer, or once a day, or once an hour, great. It doesn't matter, but it will allow you to be more self-aware and more clear. And when you are self-aware and clear, it's easier to be in alignment with you. And when you're in alignment with you, everything out there flows better. So these are the kinds of things I'm going to remind you of regularly, because it works. And, I don't come on a call without doing my check-in writing. Most days I'm able to really do my little check-in writing. And I know when, I do better when I'm accountable to a group. And I know many of you have told me that you're more aware of what you need and doing it for yourself when you're a part of a group with me. So what I'm trying to do here is give you the easiest access to you with a little support and some warm and loving reminders along the way. I think that's everything I wanted to share with you. I mean, I could go on and on and on because this is so fun and exciting to me. But let's stop the, I'll pause for now. And I think I will end the recording. And if we have actual questions, I'll take them and then I can add some of that information to the group. But I wanted to keep this about 30 minutes. So we did it. I did it. So let me just pause the recording. And if anybody has questions, let's go. Lucy said, my enthusiasm is contagious. That's the intent. I am so enthusiastic about this. And I just want to like round up. I want to just like put my arms around the whole world and be like, come on, let's hug. Let's do it. Here's a virtual hug for everybody. So here, let me pause.